As my grandmother said when she was crowned, coronations are a declaration of our hopes for the future. And I know she's up there, fondly keeping an eye on us, and she'll be a very proud mother.
For years, Meghan Markle's place in the British royal family has been a subject of intrigue, whispers, and controversy. But now, Prince William left no room for doubt. In a move that has stunned royal watchers, he has revealed shocking news about Meghan's future. So, what does this mean for the once close ties between the Sussexes and the Crown? Could this signal a major shift in her role within the royal family? Join us as we uncover Prince William's shocking announcement about Meghan's future. Prince William's royal verdict. At exactly 7:00 a.m. on December 9, 2025, Prince William dropped a bombshell across every royal media channel. Meghan Markle would never be returning to the British royal family. The news hit the world like a thunderclap. BBC, CNN, and Sky News interrupted their regular programs for urgent coverage, while social media erupted with millions of shares and reactions within hours. This wasn't a subtle hint or a statement from a distant spokesperson. It came directly from William himself, the heir to the throne, delivering a harsh, unflinching verdict that left no room for compromise or negotiation. The question immediately on everyone's mind was obvious. What was William protecting after years of constant controversies linked to the Sussexes? In just 19 cutting words, he closed the door forever, signaling an ironclad determination to safeguard his wife, his children, and the monarchy's reputation. The message was clear: no one threatens his family or the institution without consequences. But Meghan's reaction was lightning fast and unapologetically bold. Just hours later, she appeared on live American television, openly dismissing the royal family as meaningless to her. She called William's decision absurd, arguing it lacked any real justification, and insisting she had been treated unfairly from the beginning, painting herself as an innocent victim bullied by the monarchy. The timing was sharp and strategic, considering she was the one who had chosen to leave, leaving a trail of accusations in books and interviews. But now, she flipped the narrative, challenging William directly in front of millions. This wasn't a moment of regret from Meghan. It was a calculated counterattack designed to protect her public image while diverting attention from actions that could be damaging. She positioned herself as the hero, but in reality, she ignited a new, more intense media war. William, cornered by her bold defiance, had no choice but to respond. He quickly convened an emergency press conference at Kensington Palace, revealing what he claimed were secret, damaging actions by Meghan and Harry. According to William, internal royal investigations and reports had uncovered shocking betrayals, leaked royal documents to American media to stir scandals, hiring of a professional PR team to spread false rumors about Kate Middleton's health, and even attempts to work with political adversaries to weaken King Charles. Internationally, William presented what he called undeniable proof, emails, phone recordings, and documents, asserting that these were not the acts of former royals, but deliberate betrayals by people exploiting the royal name for personal gain. His words made it clear he was not just defending the monarchy, but directly challenging Meghan, questioning how long she could manipulate public opinion without facing consequences. The drama escalated further when Harry, once William's closest ally, jumped into the battle. Hours after William's press conference, he posted a long statement on his social media, defending himself and Meghan. He insisted the accusations were fabrications, claiming that he and Meghan were only fighting for justice after years of mistreatment. He wrote, "We have been treated unfairly and dishonestly by the royal family for many years, and we will no longer endure it. We are speaking out to protect our dignity and my wife's honor." Many saw it as an emotional plea, a desperate attempt to sway public opinion, but others recognized it as a performance meant to hide the truths William had exposed. Harry revived alleged damaging materials about William and the royal family, claiming they proved corruption, interference in political decisions, and even affairs involving members of the royal household. These claims were aimed at tarnishing William's credibility and turning public opinion against the monarchy. But what does William know about Meghan's life? Let's find out. How William exposed Meghan's secret life. Public opinion split like never before. On one side, people sympathized with Prince Harry, seeing him as a victim crushed by the weight of the royal institution. On the other hand, critics labeled him a traitor, claiming he smeared his own brother to hide his and Meghan's misdeeds. Prince William, long known for his calm silence and dedication to family unity, suddenly found himself under a storm of harsh accusations. These weren't just attacks on him. They cut deep into Kate, his steadfast wife, who had stood by him through every trial, watching her husband and children being dragged through the mud. The outrage reportedly triggered an emergency meeting with senior royal advisors to figure out the next move. It became painfully clear that William could no longer ignore this betrayal. Determined to defend his family and expose the truth, he decided to release further evidence. His goal was twofold: show the world Meghan's troubling behavior and prove that Harry's claims were exaggerations or outright lies designed to distract from the Sussexes' real misconduct. The question on everyone's lips was whether William's next revelation would be powerful enough to completely upend the narrative and dismantle Meghan's carefully curated public image. Days later, William struck back in a bold, unprecedented move. He released a secretly recorded video on major online forums and the royal media channels, instantly sending shockwaves across royal circles and the globe. The footage was explosive. Meghan was caught attending wild parties in California with Hollywood's most notorious figures, spending millions on alcohol, drugs, and endless nights of reckless indulgence. She was filmed in intimate embraces with celebrities known for scandalous behavior, leaving the public in stunned disbelief. William's captions didn't hold back. They accused Meghan of betraying the trust of the royal family and using her position purely for self-indulgence. The video didn't just expose her recent excesses, it also dug up past actions showing that even during her time with the royals, Meghan had misappropriated charitable funds, diverting hundreds of thousands of pounds to fund private parties and luxury shopping sprees. William presented manipulated budget documents and bank transfers as proof, framing her as someone who abused her power for personal pleasure rather than serving the institution she was meant to honor. The public was left reeling. A woman portrayed as modern, socially conscious, and principled had, in reality, been an opportunist thriving on deceit. William's response made it clear. This was no longer about forgiveness. Meghan's actions had tarnished the monarchy's reputation worldwide, and the family could no longer tolerate such betrayals. King Charles, who had tried to mend fences, faced repeated disappointments, while William stepped into the breach to protect the family's honor. Following the video, William issued a public statement declaring that Meghan's behavior had utterly disgraced the royal image and that a person with such a record could never be allowed back into the monarchy. The reaction was immediate. Millions of views poured in. Social media erupted with hashtags condemning Meghan, and public outrage soared. The revelation forced people to question Harry's loyalty and judgment, seeing clearly how the royals had tried to maintain peace only to be undermined from within. William had delivered a decisive blow, not just to clear his name, but to warn the world against being fooled by the victim narrative Meghan had cultivated. Then he escalated further. Additional footage and a hard-hitting statement followed, outlining Meghan's decadent parties in California from 2022 onward, her reckless spending, and her embezzlement of £500,000 from royal charitable funds between 2019 and 2020. William condemned these actions as a betrayal of trust and a disgrace to the monarchy, asserting that Meghan deserved no more leniency and could never be allowed back into royal circles. The fallout was immediate. King Charles convened an urgent meeting with William, Kate, and Princess Anne to assess the damage and plan the family's next steps. The royal household was stunned, grappling with the shocking evidence of Meghan's behavior, while public debate raged over the future of the Sussexes. Did the royal family deliberate on William's revelation about Meghan? Let's find out. Royal Emergency Meeting. Late in the evening of December 11, 2025, Windsor Castle became the stage for a tense, high-stakes emergency meeting that none of those present would ever forget. Inside a private conference room, the air was thick and suffocating. Prince William, King Charles, Princess Anne, and Princess Kate sat around a long, polished wooden table, each clutching documents, video footage, and reports tied to the explosive new evidence William had revealed to the public earlier that day. The room buzzed with a mix of anticipation, anger, and dread. William opened the discussion, giving a brief recap of the videos and materials that exposed Meghan Markle's lavish and controversial lifestyle. He stressed that this was not a matter of private indiscretions. These actions directly endangered the reputation and honor of the British royal family. His voice was firm, carrying the weight of someone determined to protect his family. At the head of the table, King Charles listened in silence, his face etched with weariness and deep inner conflict. Every line and shadow in his expression revealed the tug-of-war within him. Duty to the monarchy on one side, love for his son Harry on the other. He knew Harry had been swept into the chaos surrounding Meghan, and the thought of punishing his child pained him profoundly. As the conversation deepened, Charles hesitated aloud. Harry had betrayed the family, yes, but he was still blood, still the boy Charles had raised through heartbreak, scandal, and family upheaval. Any harsh action could push Harry further away, possibly irreparably, and the thought terrified the king. Beside William, Princess Kate nodded thoughtfully, her empathy for Charles's parental struggle clear, yet her concern for the family's present safety was just as urgent. Meghan's reckless actions had already caused harm, spreading false health rumors about her and creating tension within the royal circle. Kate spoke with quiet determination, emphasizing that the family had to act now to protect themselves before matters spiraled out of control. Princess Anne, always blunt and pragmatic, observed in silence, her impatience barely contained. She waited for the perfect moment to cut through the emotional arguments with stark, undeniable facts. Charles, still struggling with the weight of the situation, argued that no matter Meghan's faults, she remained Harry's wife. Severing ties would strike at Harry's heart, potentially leaving him isolated and psychologically vulnerable, a consequence Charles felt he could never fully bear. He suggested softer measures, perhaps a public warning or a temporary restriction on contact, hoping time might heal wounds and that Harry might see the errors of his ways. William, however, refused to back down. The family could not tolerate repeated betrayals while maintaining public respect. Insisted that decisive action was essential to protect Kate, the children, and the monarchy's reputation. Finally, Princess Anne could no longer stay silent. Her voice rang with authority and resolve as she presented new intelligence from British security agencies. Harry and Meghan were reportedly preparing a sequel to their previous book, Spare Two, filled with damaging accusations designed to attack the royal family. The manuscript supposedly claimed that Meghan had been mistreated from the moment she joined the family, excluded from key events, and subjected to discriminatory rules. Worse, it included allegations of illegal surveillance, claiming the royals had hacked Meghan's phone and gathered personal information to use against her publicly. Anne revealed that these plans were not just personal attacks. They were part of a broader scheme involving anti-royal media, aimed at spreading false stories to destabilize public trust in the monarchy. This could incite protests, unrest, and even threaten national security. The room shifted from tense discussion to sharp alarm. Charles, skeptical at first, questioned the credibility of the report. But Anne had more. Leaked emails and secret notes proved that the Sussexes were actively collaborating with outside media, planning a calculated campaign to damage the family's reputation. The debate became heated. William sided with Anne, pointing out that the intelligence had been verified through multiple independent sources. Could Charles continue shielding Harry when his son was now actively undermining the monarchy? Finally, Charles admitted the evidence was too strong to ignore, though his heart ached at the thought of cutting ties with Harry. Kate spoke with calm clarity, stressing that this decision was not revenge, but protection. The allegations in the upcoming book could permanently damage her, the children, and the stability of the royal family. Unity, she insisted, was the only path forward. Hours passed as Anne continued detailing the national security risks posed by Meghan's media plans. William emphasized that failure to act would signal weakness to the public. At last, Charles, his expression heavy with anguish, gave in. There was no other option. All contact with Harry and Meghan had to end. The decision was final, harsh, and irreversible. William proposed drafting an official statement to announce the severance the following day. Charles reluctantly signed the meeting minutes, confirming the choice. A heavy silence filled the room. Anne felt a grim satisfaction, seeing the action as necessary to safeguard the monarchy. Kate squeezed William's hand in quiet support. Charles left the room, each step echoing the loss of any hope for reconciliation with his son. What was the outcome of the meeting? Let's take a closer look. Monarchy's final decision on Harry and Meghan. The quiet corridors of Windsor Castle had rarely felt as tense as they did on the evening of the emergency meeting that would change the British royal family forever. Within the stately walls of the private conference room, the atmosphere was heavy, almost suffocating. At the center of it all sat King Charles, the reluctant monarch, alongside Prince William, Princess Kate, and Princess Anne. A large, polished wooden table separated them, littered with carefully organized documents, legal briefs, and the damning evidence that Prince William had made public just days before. From the very moment the meeting began, it was clear this would not be an ordinary family discussion. The stakes were monumental. Prince William, poised yet resolute, opened the discussion with a concise recap of the video recordings and documents exposing Meghan Markle's alleged betrayals and misuse of charitable funds. He presented everything in painstaking detail, ensuring that no ambiguity remained. The room grew silent as the weight of the revelations settled over everyone. The consensus, though difficult for some, was unanimous in one critical point. The royal family could no longer maintain any form of contact with Harry or Meghan. By the end of the evening, King Charles had, with a reluctant hand, signed the official minutes documenting the historic decision. This was not a mere administrative step. It was a declaration of an irreversible family rupture. The minutes explicitly stated that all forms of communication, personal phone calls, private emails, and in-person meetings were permanently terminated. Simultaneously, the Sussexes would no longer receive any support traditionally provided by the monarchy, including security, financial aid, and the privileges tied to their royal titles. In essence, the bridge between the British royal family and the Sussex branch had been burned completely, leaving no path for reconciliation. Prince William wasted no time in putting this decision into immediate action. He directed the royal legal advisors to draft precise legal documentation to prevent any attempts by Harry or Meghan to re-establish contact. In the meeting's official minutes, William stressed that this drastic measure was crucial to protect the integrity of the monarchy and to allow the royals to focus on their national duties without the constant distraction of ongoing disputes. He made it clear that this action was not personal vengeance, but a necessary step to ensure the stability of the crown and the welfare of the family. Princess Anne, supporting William throughout the deliberations, took on the responsibility of notifying the palace staff about the new rules. She made certain that every member of the household understood that under no circumstances were they to respond to any messages, calls, or requests from the Sussexes. Kate, meanwhile, contributed by highlighting the protective aspect of the decision for their children, emphasizing how the family's youngest members needed to be shielded from the corrosive influence of public disputes and media scrutiny. King Charles, though he signed off on the minutes, wore a deeply contemplative expression, aware that this moment represented the last chance to reach out to his son on any level outside of formal channels. Yet, William's strategy went beyond internal palace boundaries. Determined to make the permanence of the separation crystal clear, he orchestrated a public statement, distributed across all official royal media channels. The announcement left no room for misinterpretation. Meghan Markle was cut off entirely from the British royal family. In the statement, William personally approved each line, ensuring it referenced the publicized evidence of embezzlement, personal excesses, and behaviors that undermined trust within the family. The communication team disseminated the declaration to major news outlets such as BBC, CNN, and Sky News, guaranteeing that the message would resonate worldwide. Social media erupted almost instantly. Millions shared the news within hours, and public opinion quickly split, though many supported the move as a necessary step to restore order and stability to the monarchy. Following the public announcement, William instructed royal legal advisors to explore further steps, including the potential stripping of Meghan's royal titles. While this action had yet to receive official approval from Parliament, William underscored in private discussions that it was a crucial measure. According to him, it would ensure that any lingering connection between Meghan and the monarchy was permanently severed. The evidence from intelligence reports detailing alleged attempts to slander the family and compromise national security provided a compelling rationale for taking this extraordinary step. The message was unmistakable. The Sussexes would no longer be considered part of the royal fold, and any effort to reinsert themselves would be legally blocked. Across the Atlantic, the news hit Harry and Meghan like a thunderclap. In their Montecito, California home, they sat in stunned disbelief. Harry remained immobile on the sofa, staring blankly ahead, while Meghan paced the room, her face a mask of anger and disbelief. Hours passed as they read, reread, and dissected the royal family's statement. It was a reality that left them isolated, stripped of the protection and privileges they had once taken for granted. Professional security teams provided by the monarchy were no longer available, forcing Harry to make expensive private arrangements to ensure their safety. Meghan expressed deep concern for the well-being of their children, Archie and Lilibet, noting that the lack of royal intelligence support now left them vulnerable to potential threats. Beyond security, their public and professional lives began to unravel almost immediately. Corporate partners and media collaborators, wary of being associated with the growing scandal, began pulling out of ongoing projects. Deals with major brands like Netflix and Spotify faced abrupt suspension, and planned ventures were either delayed or canceled entirely. Meghan's American Riviera orchard product launch had to be shelved indefinitely, and Harry saw numerous speaking engagements on mental health abruptly canceled at international conferences. What effect does this decision have on the royal family? Let's find out. Consequences of the decision on the royal family. After the shocking announcement that William had cut all ties with Meghan and Harry, the couple quickly faced a huge loss of support. Millions of social media followers unfollowed them almost immediately, causing their online engagement to plummet. Where they had once enjoyed a global fan base, they were now met with waves of criticism from both the British and American public. Harry found himself scrolling through harsh comments on Instagram and Twitter, feeling deeply disappointed, while Meghan tried to maintain her image with regular updates, only to receive lukewarm responses. Their professional and charitable ventures also suffered. Investors pulled funding from projects like the Archwell Foundation, forcing staff layoffs and delaying community programs. Meghan's invitations to Hollywood events sharply decreased, and Harry struggled to find new partners in polo and philanthropic work due to their tarnished reputation. These setbacks pushed them to rethink their futures. Meghan began focusing on her personal career through independent media projects in the U.S., while Harry explored opportunities outside the royal world, including writing books or joining non-governmental organizations. Without royal backing, financial pressures mounted. They even discussed with lawyers the possibility of suing the royal family for defamation or privacy breaches based on evidence William had released, potentially leading to legal battles in Britain or America. At the same time, they considered a media strategy to regain public support, with Meghan sharing her side in exclusive interviews on channels like CBS or ABC, and Harry highlighting the mental health struggles made worse by the severance decision. The shock of these events took a personal toll. Both attended therapy sessions to manage stress, and the loss of royal security forced them to enhance protection at their private home. Many long-term projects stalled in the U.S., and the rapid loss of fans and crumbling social support left them more isolated. Business setbacks hit their finances hard, pushing Meghan to sell assets to maintain their lifestyle. So, what do you think about Prince William's unexpected announcement about Meghan's future? Let us know your opinion in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.